right, sixth graders, happy Monday. Today we are talking about what is a solid. So a solid is a three-dimensional figure that encloses a space. Things that you want to remember about three-dimensional figures. So you would definitely want to write down that a face is a flat surface. An edge is a line segment connecting two faces. And you know that a vertex, just like in a two-dimensional figure, is a point connecting three or more edges. So if we were to label these parts, this line right here would be an edge. This point right here would be a vertex. And this space right here, that whole kind of flat surface of the side of the rectangular prism, as that is called a face. So if we were writing the number of faces, edges, and vertices, we would have to count them. So I would count one face back here, two on top, three in that back, four in this front, five on this side, and one on the bottom. So that would be 6 faces. Edges, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 on that side, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Edges are hard to count without doubling them. And then vertices. So we have a point here, 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 and a point here, and one on top there, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 vertices. It's a little bit tricky. So faces of this, it's kind of like a triangular prism. So we have this triangle face and the other triangle face, right? So that's 2, and then we have 1, 2, 3 rectangle faces, so 5 total. And then the edges, we would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the ends, 7, 8, 9 edges. And then vertices, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did I see any more points that I missed? Whew, tricky. So again, if we're counting faces, we have all these triangle faces. 1, 2, oh my gosh, 3 in the back, and 4, 5, 6 in the front. So we have 6 triangle faces, and then the bottom face, which is a hexagon. So we have 7 faces. And our edges, holy cow, 1, the solid line, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 edges. Oh wait, I didn't count the bottom edges. So 6 of those going to the top, and then 6 around the side. So that would be a total of 12 edges. Holy cow. And then vertices. So we have 1 on the top, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the bottom. That was kind of a tricky one, huh, guys? Faces for this one, we would have 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 triangles and a square face, so a total of 5. And then edges, we would count these lines 1, 2, 3, 4, and then around the bottom 5, 6, 7, 8. So say that same thing kind of happened here. We had 6 and then 6 around the bottom. Here we had 4 and then 4 around the bottom. And then our vertices, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we had the 4 around the shape and the 1, just like we had. Oh, did we count wrong? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We should have had 7 vertices. We forgot to add to the point. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we had 4 plus the 1 on top. Faces here, this is tricky. So we know we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 sides here. So we have 8 faces of rectangles plus the 2. So a total of 10 faces. And then we have 8 edges around here. 8 edges on the back. So that's 16 and 16. That's 16. And then we have each edge here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 more. So a total of 24 edges. Holy cow, guys. And then our vertices, remember, are right here. All the way around. So 8 on this side. And 8 around the other side. So a total of 16. Whew. Faces. So we have this triangle, the 2 in the back, and the 1 in the front, and the 1 on the bottom. So 1, 2, front and bottom, 3, 4. And edges, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 edges. And vertices, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh my goodness, you guys. Tricky, but you kind of have to train your brain to see where those edges and faces are, right? So types of solids that you need to know. A prism is a solid with 2 bases that are congruent and parallel. So there's a base here and here that are the same and they're parallel to each other. Prisms are named by their bases. The solid to the left is a triangular prism because the bases of the prism are triangles. A pyramid is a solid with 1 base, so here's the base, and sides that meet at a point. Pyramids are named by their base. So this is a triangular pyramid. If it had a square on the bottom, we would call it a square pyramid. If it had a rectangle on the bottom, we call it a rectangular pyramid. Okay? So we're going to classify each of these as a prism or a pyramid. So if it meets at a point with 1 base, it is a pyramid. If it has 2 parallel bases, it is a prism, right? This has 2 and 2 parallel bases. If it meets at a point, it is a pyramid with 1 base, right? So if we were naming these, we know this is a prism. And if we look at the base, we have a rectangle. So we would call this a rectangular prism. We know this is a pyramid, and we name it by the base, 2, 3, 4, 5. We would call this a pentagonal, or we'll just call it a pentagon pyramid for now, 5 sides. And this would be a pyramid, right? Because it comes to a point, and the base is a triangle, so we'd call it a triangular pyramid. On your homework, you'll have a word bank to pick from. So here, our bottom, see how it's showing you all sides are the same? So we have a square, as we're naming it, and it's a prism because the faces or the bases are parallel, two parallel bases. All right, now we have two parallel bases kind of going the other way, and this shows us what shape? A trapezoid, right? So a trapezoid, and we would say this is a prism because it has two parallel bases. Do you guys see that? This has two parallel bases, and these are both pyramids because they come to a point with one base. Now if we were naming these, this would be a hexagonal prism, and this would be a rectangular, because that's what the base is, right? And this would be a square because that's what the base is. Alright, so remember, prisms have two parallel bases, pyramids have one base, and that meet at a point. Okay? We name pyramids by their base, and we name prisms by their base too. We name them both by their base. Alright, have a fantabulous Monday.